Thank you. Well, as you might imagine, people who were there were terrified when those shots rang out. KUSI's Dani Ruberti talked to one man who found shelter in an unusual place.
Instantly, I just heard just crack, 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 4 to 6, just right off the bat. And then that was kind of it. And then just chaos.
Shaun White was there watching the last race before the Ice Cube concert when it all went down. It was the last thing he says he'd ever expect.
Everybody has their own scenario in their head. I was just standing there and people were running past me. So you think you're going to do something. Guys and girls running, crying, screaming already, shooter, shooter, shooter.
White says he didn't see what happened, but he heard the shots, and that was almost worse. He froze up and couldn't move, while people scattered like ants around him.
It was terrible. It was terrible, you know, seeing people cry and like the concern and worry, and then the not knowing of what's happening.
Eventually, he realized his friends jumped over the fence onto the Del Mar racetrack, and they were screaming his name. That's when his instincts took over, and he found safety inside a nearby stable on the tracks.
And my friends were definitely afraid to stand beside each other, you know, and everybody else, like, it was just like little groupings. No one was standing apart. Like, everybody was like, you know, together, pressed together.
He says he felt helpless, unarmed, inside that stable. All they heard, sirens, not knowing what was happening on the other side of those gates.
Can't say anything, can't do anything. You can't, like, rewind time. You know, you can't even say everything's going to be all right. Nothing is going to be all right. We're in a bad situation right now.
Sitting in the stable, in shock and still unsure of what was happening, his friends called their loved ones to say their goodbyes.
And that was the hard part. You know, to think that a bunch of innocent people that just were either there at the races or just come to see this free concert were injured and they just wanted to have a good time. You know, that's the unsettling feeling.
Finally, he says a first responder came out and told them it was over. Relief came over him and his friends. White was surprised the concert wasn't canceled, but he was grateful the show went on because he says he never wants the bad guy to win.
Ice Cube and his positivity, it just droughted out the bad guy, you know, so I think more of us have to think like that, like, don't let this fade us. We got to keep going on and having a good time.
Ice Cube even responded on Twitter this morning saying, "Thank you. I feel bad for the people who left the show, but I totally understand. Moral of the story, come see ya homie Cube, but leave the strap at home." Dani Ruberti, KUSI News.
The man convicted earlier this month of